The AI revolution, how to prepare your business to be an AI winner. So just to confirm, this is aimed at business leaders, CEOs, MDs, founders, etc., board directors, NEDs, chairs. It's not a techie talk. I'll keep to a minimum any jargon, and we're not going to get lost into technology comparisons, data stacks, and the benefits of SQL versus no SQL. If that was lost on you, great. This is exactly where you need to be. The AI revolution, how to prepare your business to be a winner. ChatGPT is on everyone's lips, but it's difficult to believe that it only appeared in the public arena in about November 2022. That's less than a year ago. It's an example of a large language model. ChatGPT, Google Bards, there are lots of others. In fact, every tool you use now has an AI part. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and it looks like the start of the AI revolution. What will it mean to you and your business? What parts of business industry will it impact? If you're in manufacturing, AI has been around in one form or another for many years. But for the rest of us, it's only just really starting. It will gather pace. You either get on board and make it work, or you get dragged along in its wake. Should you go all in, bet the farm, should you wait and see? According to a recent McKinsey report, they worry that the laggards will be left behind, far behind. But does that mean you need to find lots of money now for AI? That's sort of your choice today, but whatever route you eventually settle on, you should be getting your business AI ready. And this is what I will be outlining today. I'll be talking about the framework that we've developed. This is what some of your peers are doing right now. And my aims for this session is really just to be thought-provoking, to prick your curiosity, to get you to ask yourself, are we ready for AI? Are we really data-driven? How will we use AI? How will it impact us? And during this session, I would like you to gain a greater understanding of the issues and solutions that I've experienced with other clients. Many are common in every business. So if anything resonates with you, pop it into chat and I'll cover it if I can, now or later. Remember, the chat is private and can't be seen by anyone else now or on any recording. Secondly, I want to introduce you to the IntelliDAP way of getting AI ready, being an AI winner. And just a hint, you're going to find it's not about the technology. I apologize in advance. I'm very passionate about this topic, so if I start preaching, if I sound like I'm telling you what to do, please bear with me. AI is new. We need to think in new ways. And finally, we'll have a question session. Pop these into the Q&A section rather than the chat. Both, as I keep saying, are confidential. They're only visible to you and me, and neither will be visible or appear on the recording. Just use the chat to make notes, things that resonate or jar. You can see them, I can see them, nobody else can. Remember, through this, I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you can go ahead and get yourselves ready without any help from me following this session, then that is a win for me. I know that I add value to this broad process by reducing the number of mistakes and accelerating the time frame. Both mistakes and time are expensive, and not just in financial terms. During this session, I want to introduce you to the concept of intelligent data. What is data-driven, and why does it matter today to take this seriously? Being data-driven prepares you for AI ready. It lays down the foundations. Why there has to be a sense of urgency about this topic today. It's not a simple case of money. If you're thinking we cannot afford to do this, the question you maybe should be considering is, can you afford to ignore it? I want to discuss the vital relationship between people, processes, systems, and technology. Call it the culture, a business culture that focuses on these key pillars and the data that is created and runs through the business. Why is it crucial to address this now? Why is it important to put data at the heart of your digital and information strategy? Why should you focus on data, not applications and technology? How you can become data-centric rather than application-centric. I want to address some of the myths. It's all about the technology. This is quite a big issue. Technology is the tools that are used for your systems. The value lies in your data and what you can do with it, not your tech stack. The quantity of data over quality, the effect and danger of data silos. A silo is a container with defined and sometimes impenetrable boundaries. Information and data are managed by IT. I think data is best determined and managed by the business. IT looks after the technology that manages it. Data lakes and data warehouses are a cure for all data issues. Yes, they have their role, but too often they're used as an expensive sticking plaster for data issues. And how and where do you start? Well, it's always with the business needs. The foundations start with a business strategy. A business strategy is an essential part of your success. I'll desist from asking here how many of you do not have a business strategy, but I'll assume that everyone has something, formal, informal, even on a napkin or the back of a fag packet, as we used to say. An information strategy is an essential part of that business strategy. An information strategy underpins your business strategy. Do you rely on gut feel or experience to make decisions, maybe backed up by data and reports? Today, we need to pivot that reliance. We need to rely on data and back that up by referring to gut feel and experience. Become data-driven. If you don't agree with your data, don't shrug it off, fix it. It's a great soundbite, but it's not so easy to deliver. And so why am I emphasizing it? Why do I think this is such an important step? To me, AI is the data insights and the actions driven without any human curation. You have to get the confidence in your data. You have to trust your information before you're ever going to be able to accept AI. It's a cultural change for many businesses. It's not comfortable, but it must be addressed. Do you rely on specific people, say, to run reports, or can anyone run them? Do you question the outputs more than you believe them? Do not delay. Start today. There are two strands to this AI preparation. The first one is starting with your AI strategy. What part of AI will be most beneficial? Where can we benefit best? Where should we start? Bring your best heads together from across the business, leaders, managers, worker bees on the front line, as well as the techie types. Keep it an open forum, even the dreaded blue sky thinking. How can you make yourselves better, faster, more efficient? Where will you benefit most from better information, from forecasting, from prediction? And secondly, what we're going to talk about here today is getting your business AI ready. So why is it so urgent? Well, as I mentioned already, it was less than a year ago that ChatGPT landed on a computer near you. To paraphrase Neil Armstrong back in 1969, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But ChatGPT is a tool. It is a large language model allied to generative AI, and it gets mixed reviews. As it gets used more, it gets better, or the other side of it, it produces the average sum of indifference. It does really divide opinion. The reality is nobody really understands what it is doing and how it's doing it. And secondly, this whole area is moving at warp speed. Iterations, variants, applications, Bard, Claude AI, Bing, and so on and so forth. If you have ignored it so far, what about your competitors? Are they ignoring it? I'm not saying that you should be using it now. I'm saying that you must think about it and all the other strands of AI that are coming to fruition. If you're here, I'm confident that you are thinking about it. But don't finish with me at the end of this and put it all on the back burner, box ticked. Think, how will AI affect my industry, my market, my business? How might it affect me, my role, my job? IT generic challenges. I always start with a word association. What is IT? Money. Money, 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 never-ending spend on IT and technologies. Does this resonate? Lack of tangible benefits, confusion as to what we're getting, frustration at getting real benefits, anxiety that we'll be left behind, concern that you're not realizing value. Is this where you are with AI? As someone quoted to me recently, I have a generational mistrust for technology. All mouth and no trousers. And I can understand and agree, but it's not an issue with the technology as such, but surely reflects how we have bought and implemented it in the past. Do your staff, for instance, view your systems as allies or oppressors? Too often I find it's the latter. They demand lots, but they do not help enough. Good systems work for your staff, not against them. They are embraced and, dare I say it, enjoyed. Does anyone ever leave and come back to you and say, I wish our systems were as good as the ones we had with you? I'm proud to say that I had that a lot. The quality and usability of all my systems set a standard that competitors should be dreaming of. And these are some of the key questions you might be asking yourself. And they all come back to the basic first step, the need to be data-driven. Are your forecasts accurate? Do you have to rely on speaking to people to find out what you need to know? Do you rely on specialists to deliver standard reports? Do you have dashboards allowing you to monitor the business in real time? Is your working day peppered with surprises? Do you feel as though you're reacting to and not really in charge of events? Do you really trust your data and have confidence in your information and insights? But only if someone has checked it first, maybe. Or do you question the data source of standard reports? Have you found that you just have more questions than answers? If any of this resonates, please Do not ignore it. Address it before you get left behind. Please put a note in chat to remind you what you think. So what about the AI challenges? Here are some of the titles that business leaders raise with me, and comments behind these include staying ahead of the competition, the competitive advantage, how to stay ahead, what technical expertise and data resources are we going to need, understand what your business needs. Competitive edge might include creative content, react to changing customer demand in real time, pricing, resource allocation, changing the way you do things. Look at our credit cards, fraud in the credit card industry, identifying ever changes of patterns of behavior, large language models to support market research and analysis. AI talent itself is expensive. So what, what does your business need? What does your industry need? And how are you going to find this out? How are you going to help you differentiate from your competition? Automate your customer service, automate your A/B testing. Intelligent wizards delivering dynamic questionnaires based on changing information. And how do you prepare your business? AI is a revolution that is already underway. Businesses need to prepare for the challenges and the changes that AI will bring, or they will be left behind. Reframe your thinking about AI by seeing it as an opportunity to streamline processes, to solve complex problems, and to improve decision-making. How will AI affect you? Research and understand the potential impact of AI on your industry, job function, and personal life. Get yourself AI ready. Finally, there's some other questions which I will not be addressing directly today. Is there a future for businesses without AI? How will AI change the business landscape? How will AI impact jobs? Are jobs really at risk? Ethics, how to use AI for good. And finally, maybe the legal implications of using AI. Are you excited by the possibilities, worried, or concerned? I'd love some feedback in the chat. Your feedback helps me make this presentation better in the future, so let me have it, please. Good, bad, ugly. Sorry. Here we go. I could do with a beer. If you haven't already, can I please ask you to open your chat box? Delighted as I am to welcome you here, I have to ask, who are you and why are you here? What is your job title and what single thing are you hoping to get out of this session? Maybe which word encapsulates your mood best around the AI question? Is it concern, anxiety, frustration, confusion, excitement? Pop it into the chat box. If I can, I will temper my webinar to address some of the key issues raised here. Maybe you're struggling to be data-driven, let alone AI ready. Getting a sort of even spread of words, some concern and some confusion. Hopefully the session will help you. It is a big topic. I'm happy to see one excitement, two excitements. We must remember this is about AI. It's full of known unknowns and too many unknown unknowns, so I sympathize with you all. Truth be told, I feel much the same. I do not have the answers. I'm not sure anyone does. What I will fix on is what you can do to be best prepared, to be ready to recognize what is going on and to be ready to take advantage. And we call that being AI ready. As we will see, the concepts of data-driven, AI ready are very closely linked. They both need the same basics, the same foundations to be in place. So that is where we're going. And I hope this resonates with you, that you understand that addressing AI in one way or another is crucial. Just keep your wallets closed for the time being. First, understand what you need. This is not an excuse to procrastinate. There is a huge sense of urgency around this topic, so do not put it off. Where and how to start, and we're all coming to that now. The overview of this session, the AI revolution. The foundations. Whether you're looking to be data-driven or AI ready, the basics are the same. You have to get your foundations right. My focus is always on data, accurate, real-time, accessible, how and where you capture data and where you use it. Communication, knowing what metrics you use, how they're defined and how they're measured. People, process, systems, knowing how your whole business really works. Processes make your business unique. Systems are about delivering your process ecosystem efficiently, and I say that advisedly. Often, problems appear because systems are single process or single department orientated. They're not owned by the business, with business needs at their heart, and this is where the silo issue is normally rooted. Knowing where you are and where you're going is really important, and the foundations element is all about having this in place. So how do we get going? How do we put these foundations in place? And I'm going to call this section the process. Detail varies between all businesses, but the key steps in our framework apply to all businesses, large, small, established, startups. What can you learn that you can apply? There are certain disciplines that we have found apply in part or in whole to all businesses, and they're not rocket science. We have been putting together our framework for AI foundations for the past 5 years. And the key takeaways that I hope you will take away is you stop worrying about your technology choices and you have to get the basics sorted first. The technology choices, the decisions as to what to spend and why, will become easier. And by following a tried and tested path, it becomes much easier to put in place the metrics and the KPIs. What does success look like in our AI-ready state? I find many business leaders have long struggled to measure success and ROI in IT in general. Many people do try, but few have great success. But going through this process and with your foundations addressed, it becomes much easier to put a value on success and a cost on failure. And when you can identify the real cost, benefit, value of doing things right and the cost of doing them wrong, you can place a material value on what you're doing and you can measure your ROI. By the end of this presentation, I would like to think that you have the confidence to recognize the actions you should be taking, knowing where you need to accelerate. You can always do it yourself. I will not be holding anything back. I'm not glossing over any key steps. I want you to succeed, and hopefully that is where you'll be after today. However, I do ask, can you afford to make mistakes? Can you afford to take too long? And that is where I help. Time and mistakes are both expensive. Avoiding them is where I add value. The reality is that strands of AI have been used in business for quite a while. Robotics in manufacturing replacing repetitive tasks, large language models powering bots that answer questions automatically, predictive and forecasting tools. It was the launch of ChatGPT that opened up the frenzy, but AI has been around in one form or another for several years. The arrival of these large language models has opened eyes and avenues for application. There is one particular application that I have come across recently that will potentially disrupt a major part of our business lives, and I will cover it in more detail near the end of the session. But what should you be doing now? First of all, you should be starting with an AI strategy team. You need to consider how AI will affect your business. Get people who are curious about AI, about technology, and about your business. It's not just about ChatGPT and generative AI. I have a list of topics you might want to consider, and I'm happy to share that if you're interested. Ask in the chat or let me know afterwards. I hope this is making sense. If I'm going too fast or skipping key bits, please let me know. If I cannot help you on air, I will certainly aim to address issues later today or tomorrow via email. Please put thoughts and comments in the chat. I'm always happy to get on a call with you and help you address questions or give you advice. I do not charge for this, nor is there any expectation of future work. I just love helping. If I eventually get paid, that is the cherry on the top. So who am I? Philip Milne. I'm the founder of Intellidat and been going for about 5 years. My premise back in 2018 was that AI was coming and would revolutionize the way that we do business. I saw it as being data-driven without human curation. Data that identified insights, systems are in place to implement them. That was my vision back then, pre-pandemic. It still is today, though I'm older and wiser as to what is needed to get to this point. Many of my potential clients were not ready for AI. Many still struggle. So if that's you, in part or whole, don't worry, you're not alone. Many of us are struggling with similar issues, but they are surmountable, and not just by throwing money at them. Before that, I was the founder, group operations director. God, I love that term. In fact, I was COO, CIO, chief digital officer, as well as looking after health and safety, payroll, operations, delivery, etc. of a company called the Concerta Group. We grew from a startup to a £40 million a year company and ended with a successful sale to a trade competitor in 2017. In my early days, my partner was sales and marketing. My job was everything else, building the eternal bridges, excuse me, to meet client expectations. And as the business grew and expanded, our needs changed. M&A brought integration issues. Vertical expansion came with growing pains. But we always had very good data and information. It was based on the concept of integrated business systems. All our technology spoke to the same database. It was excellent value for money. The business management system, or the BMS as we called it, provided a backbone across the whole business, a mix of best-of-breed systems, all focused on data. Accurate, real-time data, an accessible single source of truth. And as we sold the business, I was already planning how AI would be integrated in the future. I was planning to revolutionize our business forecasting, more automation opportunities using machine learning, improved service levels, making reporting even better and more intuitive. And that was my background when I set up Intellidat, a play on words, intelligent data. The reality that I found was that our focus on data was unusual. Most companies I began talking to spent far more money on technology, but they tended not to have a clear data or technology leadership, any information strategy, even a data vision. If you can, I'd like you to think about how much you think your information data is costing you today. Just a rough figure to hold in your head, very roughly, and maybe what it's at as a percentage of your turnover. And we'll come back to that later. How do we help at Intellidat? By getting the foundations up to speed, by focusing on your business needs, mentoring existing teams, building new ones, helping individual businesses identify the business need and how best they get there. We work in various ways. We have a light touch, advisory mentor role with some minor teeth, a steering role, leadership in an advisory capacity, a fractional leadership role, not full-time but not consultancy, invested in your business and your success, or a driving role, interim leadership, pushing for short-term improvements in foundations while you get your leadership in place. And finally, a longer-term sort of board advisor mentor and delivering data value to the board, a long-term relationship. And what makes me special? I have covered every role at one time or another, so that means I have a very broad brush view of how all the teams can and should work together. Specifically, I am an expert at identifying how to design and implement integrated business systems so they do their job, they're user-friendly, they're efficient and scalable and promote best practice, off-the-shelf or bespoke solutions. I practice disciplines like business, system and solution architecture, process management and mining, 21st century reporting solutions, data governance, cybersecurity. However, I describe myself as a logical, pragmatic businessman who talks techie. I understand how a business can take advantage of technology. I've done it all my working life, but I'm not profligate. IT, information, data is part of the business machine. It is either helping achieve business goals, it is part of the P&L focus, or it needs to change. I'm focused on outcomes, efficiency and productivity, reporting, automation, and forecasting that works and helps you achieve your aims. I grew up with a mantra, cash is king. Without cash, we can't trade. It's not about profit or revenue. They're important, but the immediate need is always cash. To me, cash is still king. But the royal family now includes an equal partner, data. Data is your queen. Data should be your most valuable, intangible asset. Data and information is the power behind the throne. It informs agile businesses and modern leaderships. Being digitally literate today means understanding how your business uses data and information and how it can do that better. So what about AI? AI is the rocket propulsion that will drive all businesses today and tomorrow. AI or machine learning is already changing the way that we do things. ChatGPT, as we've said, is on everyone's lips. The rate of change will accelerate. Soon, it'll be too late. We need to act now. You're going to need your own intelligent data to be a winner. Being a laggard, as I mentioned before from McKinsey & Co, will be most damaging to your corporate health. At this stage, it's not about technology. It is about needs and culture. The technology will follow. The immediate need in many businesses is to get the foundations and the culture ready. And is there a rush? Yes, because it's happening and it's already moving very quickly. Spend in haste, regret at leisure. Get the basics right, your foundations, identify what you need, understand how you can deliver that. You should be looking quite hard at what you do, how you do it, and where you need to prove. Nothing should be above review. It does not matter how much you spent on a new ERP system last year or 10 years ago. If it's not fit for purpose, if it's not adding real value, it will cost you ever more money as you go forward. There are two bits all businesses should have done, and if not, they should be doing them now. Strategy, how will AI affect your business? Is ChatGPT relevant? Yes or no? It's working example of a large language model and generative AI. It understands questions and inputs. However, your AI strategy should not focus on ChatGPT. If you look at your marketing function, if you look at your marketing function, one can compare it to display advertising. It's a part of marketing mix at some businesses, but not all. So ChatGPT is to AI. It's one strand of a much broader topic. Where does your business need AI? What are the quick wins? How will you benefit in the medium term? Do you need customer service, chatbot, intelligent wiki, repetitive activities, highlight potential and opportunities, highlight threats, forecasting and modeling, prediction, improving services, reduce costs, spot opportunities, intelligent forecasting? I defy anyone to really understand the long-term implications at the moment. So you should focus on your needs, not the tools. Until you have your foundations in place, focus on your needs. Where will you benefit most? What do you need to do? How do you drive new opportunities? Make yourself more efficient. Have you started an AI strategy? If it's yes, is that making progress? I'd love some feedback here. This is very much an internal issue to address. You need to know your business very well as understanding how AI can impact it. If you're already looking at or about to implement a route, the biggest single piece of advice that I can give you is keep it small, keep it manageable and focused. Do not let everyone have their say. Avoid scope creep. Or it'll most likely fail and you will lose faith in AI and you'll be left behind eventually. The second part is getting yourself AI ready, and that's what we're going to focus on now. Productivity, opportunities, priorities identified and underpinned by good data. Data-driven beyond the soundbite. The reality of having data that drives decision-making, not gut feel or personal experience. What is the underlying data telling us? We need to get the relevance, foundations, and the culture right. Why? Because data is becoming ever more important, and having poor quality data will damage your business. Data-driven, AI-ready, productivity, they all need the same basic foundations. Understanding how the business works, building a data vision, identifying your master data structure, integrating your business systems. A culture of people, process, systems, and technology where data is a valued asset with clear leadership to break down those silos. Getting data-driven culture right is a precursor to benefiting from AI. You just have to trust your data. You need to remove all human curation and intervention in accessing and using that data. It's quite mind-blowing. Data and reporting democratization is easy to access, relevant, accurate, and real-time. It does not happen by luck, planning, and preparation. Data lakes and data warehouses are not the solution. Acknowledge that data sources are not working. They actually have a really important role to play, but it's not to fix poor data quality. Spreadsheets are there to be used for analytics. They're not there to manage systems. Productivity. You need to understand your business so well, the people, processes, systems, data, and technology. And this is called business process management. So I could ask, do you have a good working model of your business at the moment? Could you just reach out and grab it? Is it up to date? When was it last reviewed? If not, I seriously counsel you to consider it before you spend money on any new technology or any new solutions. If you get the right tool to help you, you can even test and evaluate your proposed new solution in a digital twin. If that's of interest, do ask. I'm not covering that in detail here. I'm going to cover over the integrated business systems. If there is an issue with data quality, processes not being followed, mistakes, extra cost, this is where it most likely lies, your systems layer. Systems are not processes. They help you monitor, measure progress, deliver processes. Systems are a separate beast. They do not belong to process owners or department heads. Systems are not the same as technology. Yes, in our modern digital world, you need a technology platform to host your systems. But in theory, good systems will run on any number of technology platforms. The really important to understand this concept, separating process from systems and from technology, is a key first step towards becoming data-driven, getting to that AI-ready state. Getting all strands properly modeled with dependencies and relationships, time and cost, is a key stepping stone to productivity. Systems must be efficient, scalable, and good systems will solve data quality issues. They will increase staff engagement. They will reduce stress, make work more efficient, increase productivity. They provide a seamless experience across the business, a thread that will draw all parts of your business into a common team. AI and data-driven need a foundation of accurate, accessible, and real-time data. They need to avoid disconnected data silos, whether these are department, process, or technology-based silos. How does your business really work? Business process modeling or business architecture. I've already mentioned this step and I'll keep mentioning it because it is a really, really key element. Connections, dependencies, relationships between all parts of your business. You need to build a culture of connected data flow. Capture once, use many times. Democratization of data. That data is owned by the business and used by those who need it when they need it. People who are invested in and committed to playing their part. Leadership who understand what connected data is all about. No starting spreadsheets to track something. Seamless integration, one copy. A good data vision describes how data flows through your business, flows through your departments, processes, systems, and technology. Master data structure formalizes that flow. It describes the skeletal structure of your business data, the core structural elements, how they're connected, and how they add value. It is the core structure on which you build your data-driven business and know that you are AI ready. Not all businesses describe this process fully, but it's clear to me that the businesses that get this wholly or largely right are much further down the road to success. Doing it properly, though, is not a one-off exercise. It's the basis of a long-term asset of great value. You may have heard of the term Master Data Management Strategy, MDMS. Indeed, you may be implementing an MDM strategy. To me, this is slightly the process of doing MDS in reverse. But if that's where your business is, that is what needs to be done. But it is very laborious, often undertaken in a culture or environment that's not conducive to basic master data concepts. In many ways, it highlights an historical or cultural lack of clear information leadership and the crucial need to fix this fast. I have a controversial question for you to mull over. Would your marketing, sales, or finance work without a leader who is accountable for the performance and output of that department? Digital data technology is a core component in a modern business. So who is your leader, accountable and responsible for performance? Do you have one? Are they a business leader or a technology leader like an IT director? Pop an answer in the chat. So where do we start? We start with the foundations. Spending ever more money on technology. What is working, what is not working? Are we pouring good money after bad? Our reporting systems are not good enough. Why not? Our systems are expensive, but always need to be better to deliver the promised results. Systems and processes are disjointed. They lack a seamless experience. Are we getting value for money? Can we be more efficient? Are we being left behind? What do our systems say about our business? Do people think we're professional or amateur? Are we mired in spreadsheets? I call the framework your information strategy. Information that is based on data, intelligent data that gives us insights, not to be confused with data that is expensive and of limited use. The most important cornerstone of your business strategy in the 21st century, your information strategy. You need to know where you are now. You need to know where you want to get to, what you need to succeed. Strategies underpin plans. They're the basis for building all and any digital transformation plans. And the key message within this is focus on your data, not your technology. Where are you now? Start with the business. Run a proper business architecture. How do departments and processes link together from marketing to finance? Process and system review and analysis. How does your data flow? What is the data vision? You build out your master data structure. Understand how your current systems work. Overview of what is used and where. Ideal is to build a comprehensive business model. It's not as difficult as you think and will deliver real long-term value as you use it to know your business, how it works, warts and all. Where do you need to get to? Understand the frustration, pinch points, and what are your business needs. Resolve priorities and what is needed to be done. Get technology working for the business. Detail your ideal seamless process path. Model your current systems on top. Identify the biggest weaknesses. Plump low-hanging fruit. Prioritize changes and improvements according to defined priorities. How many of you on here have actually started an information strategy? Is it completed, in progress, thinking about it? Never started. These are my 7 key drivers that we see in businesses that are already successful at building data value, being data-driven and becoming AI ready. The key ones starting at the top: information, leadership and culture, followed by business architecture, and then the infamous business glossary, or ideally a knowledge hub. I'm going to come back to these 3 in slightly more detail. Following on down at the bottom, we've got this master data structure. I appreciate this is starting to get a bit technical, but my experience has shown me that the leadership, the executive team, need to acknowledge that there is such a concept without having to understand it in detail. For instance, we all know that there is a chart of accounts that guides the finance team. We ask for printouts to tell us how a particular cost center is doing. We might tell them what we need to do going forward, but we don't just change it ourselves. No department can declare UDI, go their own way. That is down to the CFO and the finance team to manage. Well, the same is true with data. Data with value belongs to the business. It has value because it has context, not because there's lots of it. Having a recognized master data structure is where this starts. Integrated business systems, moving up the left-hand side, view the business in a holistic 360-degree way. Every process, system, and technology is interconnected so as to deliver value. It is seamless integration, no cutting and pasting or data transfers from one system to another. You're sort of relying on integration and collaboration. There are crucial issues to resolve. Silos, data captured and stored in department, process, and technology silos. Complex systems which are not elegant. Business system and solution architecture is about reducing complication, making systems logical and elegant. Productivity, efficiency, best practice, the user experience. Happy users see their systems as an ally, not as an oppressor. Reporting. Is your reporting dependent on individuals or teams or departments? Data-driven means democratization. Dashboards that have use and are used. They're designed for an audience. They're part of an SOP. Reports should be available to all those who need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real-time, accurate data available to all. Allow your people to focus on deriving actionable insights, not getting the data. And data governance. Data, as we know, can have value if you get it right. But data always has potential liability, legal responsibilities, cost of storage. It's essential to address your governance. Put the structures in place. Everyone will suffer a breach. They're probably happening to many of us right now. You must have the structures in place, not only to do the right thing, but also to be seen to doing the right thing. I've listed the 7 key drivers. I'm not going to go in depth on any of them now, but we'll focus quickly on the first 3. Before we move on, who here has a formal data governance structure in place? Hand on heart, ready to open to the ICO when they come knocking on your door. Not leaping out at me in chat there. Anyone who can say yes, or should you say no? Every market, every country or confederation is getting on this bandwagon. GDPR we all know about. It's the blue ribbon, but you have them now in the USA, Brazil, South Africa, and so on. The punishments are getting larger. 1 billion euros being meted out to Meta. I can't get my mind around that one. Big numbers and bigger if you've not been seen to addressing it. Building in structures, not bolting them on. Ignore governance at your peril. Well run, it will carry over into cybersecurity and resilience. Other big topics that happen again to other people, never you or me. Not necessarily true. Rolls-Royce, Tesla, Lloyds, others on here are examples of household names who have adopted the information strategy to drive digital excellence. Established names and recent prodigies. I could add Facebook, Google, and Amazon if you want. Less of a household name in the middle was my old business, Concerta Group. We put together our initial information strategy as part of an inflection pivot in the early 1990s. Staff levels were approaching 20 people, and management data was slow and inconsistent. This move alone set the foundations that allowed us to leapfrog competition through organic growth and acquisitions, integrating new businesses quickly and efficiently, understanding customer needs, automating internal processes, and embracing the internet revolution by integrating web tools, e-commerce, and day-to-day systems so information was always ready, seamless, consistent, accurate, and in real time. It wasn't housed in lakes and warehouses. There were no delays, quality information available to all teams when they needed it. I mentioned the concept of inflection points, and as your business grows, you should get ready for the next stage of your development, the structure, the processes, systems, and technology that you will need in this next phase. Leave it too late and it's really expensive to resolve. Roughly when you're approaching 10 people, 20, 100, 200, 800, 1800 employees. We did our radical rethink at the 20 mark, and that served us well for the next 10 years, with minor tweaks along the way. But as I was always revisiting and improving our information strategy, our processes and systems were kept in line, and our structures developed in parallel, departments, roles, specialization. And as we grew from 20 to 100 and then onwards, this focus on revisiting our processes and systems, and even technology, kept our data valuable and relevant. This is where insights come from, where to invest, where to improve, what to drop. Seamless integration of all people and all parts of the business. We could track our clients from marketing through sales, operations, and into financial reconciliation. We had great marketing data, superb, real business intelligence. And it was all stemming from that first detailed information strategy, which we updated annually through our normal business planning rounds. Here's an example of a recent case study to underline the value of an information strategy. The company in question, they were turning over about £30 million and they're spending over 10% on information handling, £3 million. Earlier, I asked if you had a figure. At Concerto, ours was £250,000, or less than 1% of turnover. This company, though, they were a regulated industry. All the departments had built their own systems. There was no clear leadership in that area. 6 core technologies: CRM, project management, accounts, and an ERP system, marketing automation, and a very expensive and inefficient data stack, data lake and warehouse. And as is so often in these sort of businesses, lots of spreadsheet systems. Security issues with sharing, using and accessing data. They had a huge potential for fines. BI, DevOps, infrastructure team of 35 plus staff. They had no real strategy or plan. Reports were all hand-cranked, slow, variable results. Nobody had any confidence. They were expensive. There were lots of data quality issues. Data in silos. Departments creating their own reports, Power BI, spreadsheets, or manual, all sweat, picks and shovels. So what happened? Well, following a review and information strategy, we found lots of room to reduce the cost of technology. Also opportunities to reduce the cost of delivery, automate functions, improving communications and reducing data risk. We improved reporting at all levels. Dashboards aimed at specific audiences that worked, that made reporting more useful and more business-centric. We worked on introducing a culture of data quality, data awareness, and that was probably our most difficult bit. And how did we do this? It started with leadership and an information strategy. It really helped that we had buy-in to the whole process from top to bottom. Cultural change was embraced. It is an ongoing process and it relies on input from all stakeholders. We created a business process model, how the business should work, and compared that against reality. We cut out variations, improved the ideal. We articulated a master data structure. We started a simple glossary, but very quickly upgraded this to a business knowledge hub to improve communication and adherence to regulations. Integrated systems, rationalized technology, saved money, improved data collaboration, data quality mainly through reducing and then removing data silos, but also through improving our systems, seamless integration of technology, departments and processes. We moved towards a single data house based, in this case, on Microsoft SQL solutions. We were dropping Oracle and diverse open source solutions, which help reduce the cost of the data stack, in turn reducing the cost of our data. We recently upgraded to an AI-driven reporting solution to replace the legacy Power BI-based platform. We've been working to reduce complication, to simplify where possible, to introduce elegant solutions. And now we're in a data-driven, AI-ready state. They really trust their data and have great confidence in their information and insights. No one questions provenance. If they do, they look it up in the business knowledge hub and then question it armed with greater knowledge, or they stop. They are definitely AI curious and they're AI adopters. And the timescale, it was over 2 years of very hard work and considerable pain. It was a huge tanker that had to be moved onto a new track very slowly. My part in this was a fractional CIO. I was reporting directly to the CEO. Strategy, guiding and mentoring the teams most impacted. Leadership in the early days. I relied on the support from the CEO and the exec team. In Teledat, we cost less than a decent PA over those 2 years, but we delivered real quantifiable value. You could argue they could have done it without us, and you're probably right, but not in that time frame and not achieving those outcomes. It was not all down to Inteledat. 80% of the effort was internal, the way the leadership and the management bought in, and the staff at all levels bore up with the pain. I thought we'd done our job really well. Maybe we could have charged more, much more, based on the value we delivered. But now I'm on an extended retainer, a couple of days per month. Their choice, because the little tweaks we advise tend to help them save money. They stop wasting time and money and help them focus on their basics. We keep their toes on the line and help maintain the strategic oversight. I was astonished at the figure of 10% of turnover, but I find this high, but not unusual. We got this cost down to just over 5% in 2 years, an annual saving of nearly £1.5 million every year, before we factor in all the other additional benefits. Add in the cost, the reducing cost of delivery, improved decision-making, speed of reaction, improved service levels, etc., etc. And there's still room for improvement. Do you think you can achieve similar results? This is not, in my mind, an extreme case. The importance of leadership. Leadership, whether from a COO, is more than very important. I think it's vital, without which we get a very fragmented approach. Departments and process owners demanding and designing solutioning in isolation. Issues with naming conventions, storage, technology, accessibility, quality issues. There's no clear direction, frustration, confusion, anxiety. cost, and more money. It's not someone else's problem to solve. Data quality belongs to everyone. So often when I first start working in business, I can see if there's any clear vision. Just like an accountant or a marketeer or a sales leader, you just spot the signs. So early work is invariably setting that vision and that strategy, aligning with and supporting the business strategy, cultivating a data-driven culture, promoting digital literacy. Training, often start with a leadership course to the C-suite, opens eyes as to what to expect. There's always going to be lots to do, so everyone will expect their priorities to be met now. So you have to manage the expectations. You need to focus on the data vision. I think it's really important that your leader is not associated with any department. I think it's really important that a leader is not associated with any department. It's accountable for success or failure, driving improvement, being able to drive change. In my experience, they need to be business first, to see data and technology as tools that deliver goals. Curiosity helps. Technical understanding helps with communication. Sitting on the exec board helps so you can understand what is needed, what are the priorities. But success is not measured in expenditure or technology choices or the size of the tech team. Measures of success and ROI are understood and they're in line with the business goals. Again, a slide with household names who have all emphasized the need for a culture being data-driven. It's important to get the culture right, fostering a learning mindset, promoting transparency and trust, supporting collaboration and cross-functional teamwork, encouraging innovation and creativity, driving quality and integrity, enabling agility and adaptability. Know where you are and where you're going. Use data to rapidly pay out to scenarios, digital twins to develop strategies and analyze potential outcome, align behaviors with organizational goals, quality systems, provide continuity across the business. Feel professional, not amateur, systems which provide a connecting thread through the whole business. Thinking about your own business, can you identify the person who drives this for you? Is it you? Are you a CEO, MD, CEO or similar? Or is it a department head, often a CFO? In my view, introduces a different set of challenges. Quite often you find it's the IT. The issue here is they tend to be aligned with technology, not the business needs. These are obviously generalizations. Anyone going to stick their head up and tell me, say they've got a CFO or an IT? It's private. I promise not to call you out personally, ever. So where do you start? With your business. If you don't have a model, I cannot recommend you enough the value of starting one. This is probably the single most important step you can take. You start very top level and then you drill down to add details. Start with an overview of the strategic objectives, goals and KPIs. Connect your people to your activities or processes, to data and systems, to technology. Identify potential cost optimization, automation and productivity opportunities. Identify risks and how to mitigate them. Knowing your business in real time makes you more agile. Technically, it's called business process modeling or business architecture. It's very popular in countries like Germany. In fact, any economy with higher productivity rates. You can address cost, risk, efficiency, productivity opportunities. I'm skipping past this because it's a huge topic in Excel. But whether you do simple plans in Visio or Miro, or you invest in a BPM tool like iGraphics, a well-built and regularly maintained business model may well be one of your most valuable long-term assets. Just know your business, warts and all. Overview of people and roles linked to processes, including dependencies and relationships, a clear and evolving data vision and master data structure. All this underpins the priorities and the need to achieve integrated business systems, which are the bedrock of seamless operating experience. In turn, this will guide your business technology needs, value for money built in. We are iGraphics partners and we'll be happy to show you how it can help, whether a demo or a proof of value. A third tool in this is what I call a glossary. But over the years, to me, it has evolved into a knowledge hub. Your business glossary, but with bells and whistles. Easy to find, easy to use, available to all your staff. Your own personal Google for your business only. Save money, boost productivity, share knowledge from all your staff. If your business is regulated, makes even more sense. For everyone, it's the best value, most simple, and fastest productivity boost you can add to your business. Good knowledge, accurate answers is not only a core part of productivity improvements, but is a key part of becoming data-driven and being AI ready. Save time, get consistency. Promote best practice, improve communication and collaboration, which leads to reducing errors and confusion, increasing decision-making, increasing efficiency. While they're all good buzzwords and sound bites, your knowledge hub is a good way of making them come true. A traditional glossary is used to define terms, acronyms, synonyms, even local variations. Why do you do this? To standardize your terminology, improve your communication and understanding, and then expand this simple and valuable concept into your business knowledge hub as a single go-to source of all your key documents SOPs and policies. If you're looking to be data-driven and support your analytics, standardizing your metrics and KPI definitions and data sources is a vital first step. Identify and deliver the best reports. In short, deliver the right answers in one place. And the top tips, we've covered our key drivers, leadership modeling and the glossary. The best for you will depend on your business needs. Not every business has exactly the same needs and requirements, but you start with a clear leadership and culture, a vibrant business model or series of people, process, systems and technology. The key drivers of your information strategy are knowing how your people, processes and systems interact. This data vision leads to your master data structure, the importance of systems to drive processes, governance and cybersecurity, KPIs for data and information, return on investment, cost of delivery versus the value derived. How will you measure your success or failure? How will you convert that into benefit and cost? How will you determine data value? If you want an external opinion, a second opinion on what you might need to do, I'm happy to conduct a complimentary workshop for your business, 3 or 4 hours. I'm going to do more of this shortly. And calls, I have availability of 4 calls this week. If you have an outline chat, get a hold of me. They're dtp.im/call. So how do you lay these foundations? What is the process you should follow? It should be pretty self-explanatory from what we've talked about so far, but if you have issues or questions or gaps, mention them in the chat. We've already been over these primary drivers. Business focus but talks techie. Experience of architecture and data focus. Tech or programming skills are really not relevant. You may not need or warrant a full-time leader. It needs to be able to bring the data teams into the business circle. If you need help, this is a key area where we can step in. Not everyone needs full-time resources here, but you need someone to focus on this area. It's so important to get the right leadership in place. Do not underestimate the cost of inexperienced leadership, the value of good experienced leadership. Whether you build a model, a series of diagrams, even a roadmap or plan, you really need something. Just high level is better than nothing. The detail gets better and better. A business knowledge hub, which is easy to find. I cannot encourage you enough to build a glossary. Data focus. Focus on your business needs. You cannot really plan what you need to do first until you've got your priorities in order. So this is a really important part of it before you get into your planning. Keep them simple and iterative. Keep staff engaged and part of the process. Respect the input of your worker bees, the brains at the coalface. Keep your hub or glossary up to date as things change. Always focus on your data. Every tool, every technology, every system, every new idea, what does it do to our data? This is the uncomfortable bit for IT and the tech-centric. How do you measure ROI? It's not easy or comfortable for everyone. As you develop your strategy and any plans, you must put in place your measures of success. What will success look like? How will you measure it? Direct costs of implementation are easy, but what about the business costs? Measuring these are more difficult, and you need to compare the cost of doing against the cost of not doing. How do we measure the indirect costs of success, let alone the benefits? Does this make sense? What is an example of a key measure that you've used? Pop it into the chat. Amazon, what can you have in common with Amazon? They basically focused on data. Jeff Bezos never ever lost sight of data. They have this wonderful thing called the Amazon 6-pager, which is well worth a read. It's an intimidating experience, but it's based on focusing on a defined customer, the benefits of this service to that customer, and it's all backed by real data. This, in a large part, is the secret of their success. Decisions based on data. No idea was a bad one. Or we get to the great tech successes of today. Google and Facebook are a couple. When your business is 20, 25, 30 years old, will you be one of these behemoths? But is it down to technology? It has played its part, but the secret sauce is the focus on data. Google and Facebook, both these businesses are media businesses. They are data-driven media businesses. The value of their business lies in the value of their data, not just their technology. And the benefits of focusing on your data: agile digital speed, customer focus, better information enables bolder decisions. Better decisions avoids poor decisions. Data shows you where you can innovate and what you can do. Does anyone on here really regard their business as being data-driven or AI ready? Was there anything that you did that I've not covered? I would really love to know. What is the key takeaway that you've gathered from today? I've mentioned the complimentary workshop. It's there. If you would like to talk about this, give me a call and we'll get in touch. The link is at the top there, dtp.im/DOYX. Don't know why it was that, but there we go. If you want to book a call to discuss this, then add call on the end. So in summary, I've tried to highlight the value of being data-driven, AI-ready. It's more than just a soundbite. You cannot hope to spend money on technology to resolve these topics and issues, and there is no magic bullet, no tech solution that's going to be fixing it. Avoid the data myth, fix data at source, avoid silos, identify your intelligent data, keep it simple, elegant solution. If it sounds sensible but you don't know how to start or how to finish, please ask. If you want help or advice, or even just confirmation that you're on the right track, please get in touch. If I cannot help, I will tell you. I won't try and sell you anything. If you want to buy, I may well still put you off. Please don't take offense. I work over a medium to long-term basis, so I like to get to know if I can really help and add value, and that there is a cultural fit before we get into bed together. But I'm happy to give the initial help. No charge, no obligation, just ask. I promised you this nugget at the beginning. AI in reporting is flying under the radar. Reporting democracy used to mean you run your own standard reports. But if you wanted to answer a different question, you either had to go back to an analyst and wait for them to prioritize your work, or maybe if you're clever enough, you open up your own Power BI or Tableau, ClickUp or Excel, and work out how to get the data and model it yourself. Both routes took time, possibly a few hours, maybe longer, and then you have to test your results to see if you've made a mistake, and then maybe go back to the BI team. What about making it more simple, cutting out the engineering bit and going straight to the analytics? There are a new breed of solutions available where you can type in what you want to know in natural language, and that turns your question into a graph or a table where appropriate. Ask questions like, where are the top 10 product lines in Europe this month? How do they compare to the US top 10 products? That you can change the question at will, that you can refine your question. You can save what you find for later use and add it to a private or a public dashboard, or share it with colleagues for their commentary. Meanwhile, your analysts can do what they're paid to do, analyze your data to drive better insights, not answer mundane questions about technology. But there is a caveat, and that's your data. These new solutions are very clever, but they cannot turn a pig's ear into a silk purse. I'm really sorry. If you need humans to curate your current reporting process, you will need humans in the new world. So fix your data at source, store it logically so you do not need a data science degree to work the right questions. These new breed of solutions are similar in price to the incumbents, but they're miles ahead in value. If you want a solution to look at, drop me an email or ask in the chat.